hear this. Oh. Alrighty, so I was gonna finish this yesterday, but when I got back from work, I was just tired. Just near the end of the day, anyways. Yeah, yesterday we started this. Today we're gonna finish it real quick here. Might not follow it up with anything today. Maybe I will tomorrow morning. Kind of doing some stuff after stream. But I think after today, maybe after tomorrow, be free on that. Sunday I got a little thing to do with some buds. Get together. It's been a while. So. They didn't send me Yakuza, so that sucks. Gonna have to see about what we're gonna do then. I might do some prep games. I might have time, so might start Dragon's Dogma before Helldivers. We'll see. Ooh, my stomach. But anyways, yeah, we start this up, Sam. We started this yesterday. It's been okay. I think the story is a bit dry and kind of told in a very heavy lore dump way. I think the tone of the characters, quippy bullshit, kind of clashes with more abstract, artsy, end of all things kind of story they got going on here. I haven't really been pulled in by any kind of narrative, which I think matters a bit because while it does have a little bit more platforming or skill than your average kind of like journey like it's still kind of lacking in skill expression and variety. You play the first level and you've kind of played all the levels so far. There's some visual differences, and obviously it's not literally the same, but it feels about the same. But for a short game, it's not a big deal, though. It's kind of missing something to grab me on. It still feels cool enough, and the momentum's kind of cute here and there, but kind of repetitive formula, and I wish there was a bit more skill expression. I don't know. For a 3D platformer, maybe I've just been spoiled by them all, but I think a little bit more tack would be welcome. It also doesn't help that most of the challenges are pretty... I wouldn't go so far as to say they're just auto-platforming like some AAA game, but there's not many approaches to them. It's pretty just...
This must be where the rest of Auric's elders live.
Pretty simple. Pretty on rails, which I also don't think is a big deal if the on rails is a really fun sequence, like a Donkey Kong Country, but I would say they're not really. They're just fine. I don't know. I like the gravity-defying kind of shit, your Mario Galaxy-esque stuff. I think it's pretty smooth. But and then some of the visuals can be nice, but it's kind of few and far between. Like I said, you get used to it pretty quick. So. I don't know, it's been fine. I don't think it's like bad. I'm also not really like gushing over it. I think if anything, the game probably needed to have like less dialogue. That's just me. Yeah, some of these little objectives are kind of whatever too. Like, you just kind of have to like, you have like a map that tells you where things are, but then you end up doing a lot of objectives where you kind of have to just kind of like search for shit. And I don't mind that in games. It's just, it feels kind of like the flow doesn't really, it's kind of, it goes against that sort of like needle in the haystack, collectathon type of searching.
It's the only thing standing in my way.
And they're pretty repetitive objectives, like, oh, just walk back to the same area 5 times to grab some light to like touch a spot. It's just like the formula's already like, you know, go find the 5 doohickeys every time. So I don't know, it just depends. Anyways, it's been cool enough. But what's up, Cora? Fellow Helldivers player. Yeah, that whole like just the reputation of that fucking anti-cheat, I'm just like, eeh. Like my computer's already has crashing problems sometimes, so I'm like, not really looking to like risk anything, but it'll probably be fine. My question is, why would they choose such a poor anti-cheat? Apparently it barely even works. I mean, I get it's probably to try to protect microtransactions more than it is anything, but it's odd, man. Is it cheap? Like, why not use like EIC or some shit? I'm fine with like installing an anti-cheat. I just don't want something that's gonna fucking like cause issues, security or hardware wise. If it wasn't gifted, I'd probably end up playing it on PS5, but I don't want to have to do all that drama.
Must be the Crystal Palace Ark mentioned, but it's sealed shut.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, everything I've ever read about it is just people talking bad on it. But then again, I mean, maybe the people talking good on it aren't going to be talking about it at all, so. I mean, only dog shit trash seems to use it. So, there's probably a reason. I mean, as long as I can get rid of it, and it doesn't need 50 different tools, and it's taking control of any stupid programs. You've used it lots, right? Have you actually, like, it doesn't spawn any weird fucking files or anything where it shouldn't? My thing is, like, I don't want it to be a case where it's like, it seems like it's gone, but it's actually like still there in a way that I just, as someone who's not super technical, wouldn't know. I mean, I installed PSO2 back in the day as well. I don't know if it had it at that point, but and I don't have anything on my computer, so.
Must be the Crystal Palace Ark mentioned, but it's sealed shut. Better come back later.
Where are we going, dude? Oh. Gotcha. So I'm excited to do it. I want to play it on PC. I want to play it while taught with everyone. But honestly, if it wasn't gifted to me, I probably would have been a fucking complete turn off. Especially when like most of the community seems to be pretty pissed about it. And asking them to like not do it. They just don't really care. My thing is like, don't they have Sony money? Is that really the best Sony could like whip up? Like, why not just do something else? Is EAC like expensive or something? Oh, and they should. I think people absolutely should get pissed about a fucking video game wanting to take like way more security steps than they need to. I think it's one of those things like you keep pushing that envelope and it just kind of, you start giving away a lot more stuff you'd rather not be doing. I think companies like that should always be left in check. To have to push that onto the user, all the risk and all the and us have to just trust this third-party program and trust these people to not do anything when clearly it's a lot of the time just to like protect their bottom line and stuff. It's like whatever. I get it more in competitive multiplayer games, and I get it when it's like safe or proven stuff, even if I don't like things having that kind of access. But games that are like PvE, games that are like using like shady stuff, it's like, I don't know, I think people should always check that kind of shit. Where do I go on this? What am I looking for? Some jump somewhere? Oh, of course. I just smack it and it just lets you grind, I guess. I'd like to think, I mean, I don't know the Magicka devs track record. I only play Magic on 1. But I'd like to, you'd hope something funded by like Sony and shit would be okay. But it's like, the thing is, Sony gets a major fucking security breach every like month.
Gotta find a way to get Sid back.
And my thing is like,
First, I need to restore signal to the conduit in this sector.
it's not that like maybe the devs are totally trustworthy. It's more like, are they just making a mistake using a shitty one and it's gonna cause me problems later? I mean, the game's fucking PvE. I know there's supposed to be some kind of like online thing going on it, some like galactic war or some shit. I mean, you know, most of that shit's probably just to like cover microtransactions, but I don't know, we'll see. As long as I can get rid of it, it's not going to cause issues while I'm playing, that's fine. I could give it a day and then jump in after. It's just one of those where it's like, it's a game that was gifted to me, so I don't really want to like have any drama with it. And I prefer my shooters on PC too. I never activated this. I honestly don't care, but I guess I should. Where even is this? It's like later in? I feel like the currency system in this is kind of bizarre. You get like 1 per pickup, which is like super useless. You probably could barely get a single upgrade across the entirety of the fucking game by picking up the 1s. But then like, you really don't need health that much, except on like normal enemies, and even then like 3's plenty. They have you like lose health every time you do a boss too. And then like that kind of like, you're trying to be optimal, don't want to like grind every little thing you see. It's like you're gonna sit at like a lower health value, and it just kind of feels like it's not super cohesive. Like one of the few upgrades in the game being this kind of like silly, questionably useful thing. How do I get over here? I've heard actually that if you've finished some of the suits, you get like a different power depending on which suit. I think that kind of sucks. I think it's cool on the side, but when the game has like no new tech ever, I kind of wish that stuff was actually in the game instead, by default, or something you got as you went. I'm just not really interested in like running around looking for the collectibles in this.
That could come in handy.
Usually I'd be all about it, but this game doesn't have that vibe for me. I don't know how we get to that, but I don't want to have to come all the way back. I'll tell you what the problem is. There's gonna be some rail 20 miles away that spawns, hitting up somebody's ass, that I have to like fucking use this on. Whatever, dude. I'm just gonna move on.
I've got to say.
Terminal calculation. Sending location data to your
No! I'll find a way to...
network interference detected. Loading emergency
Let's go ahead. Get one more.
services finished installing. How can we help you?
I'll get you back online, Sid.
Sid, I don't care about you.
Where do I start?
Where do I start? I want to figure out how this works. Like I said, for all I know, it's gonna spawn a rail at the very end of this fucking area and come all the way back. I don't know if you can like momentum this. I feel like there's a rail that spawns, but I don't know where. Could be over there. I don't really want any side shit. I mean, I'll grab them just because they're here, but.
It seems...
Not really
Kelsey
too
must be
interested
having a
in.
field day looking through this place. Now I just need to find her.
It's not over here. I have no idea, man. Well, that's interesting looking for like some needle in a haystack to spawn a rail. Don't mind looking for secrets and stuff, but I'd rather be flowing and doing some yumps and shit. standing here looking for the one little color that stands out. Maybe we'll come back. Like I said, it might just be something that literally spawns at the end for all I know. There's some loot down here, but really, fucking empty jump there. I think I jumped right before I touched the ground, so it was my double jump. Okay, well that's just loot. I don't really care. Let's go ahead and move on. But yeah, since I haven't sent me Yakuza, I might be starting Dragon's Dogma within the next few days. I get some time. This might be my best chance to slide that in. My February is actually opening up a bit. Talos Principle 2 got physical delayed. This is probably how we get over there. This is the hidden rail. I need a red one though. So yeah, we might do that. I could do a different prep game, and I might just do a different game for fun anyways, but... yeah, I think that'd be cool. I do games for fun. Every time. Every single game. I'm true to myself, brother. The truest. Yeah, it was good stream fun, wasn't it?
Back this way.
I get fun in more ways than just the surface level enjoyment. Cause you guys are here. I like talking about shit. What? Okay, I'm dead apparently. That's cool. Not sure where that death came from. I don't think the ground was spawn hit me yet, but maybe it did. Okay, it does for some reason. Sick. Oh, I need to like boost. God, some of the traps just... That guy's in the way, because I'm trying to dodge the other dude. Boycott the stream till pizza attack. It wouldn't. But yeah, my prep games this year, at least games that pretty fucking certain are getting their sequels this year. Actually, I need to add one. That one might have to be pushed up a bit. Or Dragon's Dogma, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. I'm really excited for that one. You hear about a lot. It's like a really cool role-playing kind of immersive sim. Just need to patch some stuff on it. But I've heard the patch creators kind of getting a little goofy with the bare bones patch, adding stuff that really shouldn't be in like a game fix patch. So I might have to find an older one or just suck it up. Hades, Homeworld. I should start the Fire Emblem series. The rumor that Fire Emblem 4 remake is happening soon. Been there for a while. And then Frostpunk was the one I was gonna add today. I think I own it in like 20 different places because it's been given away a lot, but Frostpunk 2 is gonna be on Game Pass, so kinda interested in. Maybe doing that. As far as I know, that's all the like prep games I'd do this year that for the stuff announced. There's like things I could do, like all the Mario vs. Donkey Kong games before the remake in like a month, but I think I'm just skipping the remake anyways.
One step closer to restoring Sid.
I don't know if it's a new game or a remake or what. So the basic patch, right? You can do basic or plus. And post 10.0, apparently the patch maker's been adding in like there's like one part of like a meme song that's not supposed to be there or something, and making changes that like actually are a bit more than just what the game originally had cleaned up. Stuff that should be like in the plus patch. That's just what I read in some comments and people bitching about it on some threads. I don't know the full details because I haven't played it, but it's probably one of those things you'd have no idea normally, but I don't really want to like play a part and then the music's fucked 4 years ago. Yeah, I've heard like pre-double digits patches are fine. I might just find an older patch. It's supposed to be like very recent, so. Because I was just gonna install the fucking patch and just have it ready to go. You can run the game without any patch. The problem is the fucking HUD elements are really shit. But I don't really want to. Is there any like weird class choices you need to think about too? I mean, I imagine you don't play Nosferatu. Yeah, I'm gonna do it either way. That looks like it's probably like some hard mode playthrough. I was gonna play one of those like goth, like depression looking chicks who are like about magic or something. Unused songs of the game and they're great. Gotcha. I mean, maybe I'll just do the current basic patch. I don't know. Wish it wasn't some EXE, but that's the only way it works. I just don't. I'm not interested in the story, dude. And I mean, it's one of those things like, can you really say that you don't like the story if you're not willing to grapple with it? But the thing is, like, there's plenty of stories where I want to read every little chunk and that has way more dialogue than this, just because the initial setting and like the flow and the immersion are just like that good, right? The world's just that interesting. I just don't find almost any of it terribly gripping in this one. Annoying bird. Oh no shit. Yeah, maybe then their choice is, maybe it's actually fine. Or maybe there was some songs that were unused that weren't actually good calls, so now people are pissed about it. I've heard there's also some weapons and like gear you can get early because of the basic patch that you couldn't before. Anything but Nosferatu and Malkavian should be fine. Which one was Malkavian?
I am not looking forward to taking that thing down.
Like I said, I was looking at the goth, like blood magic one. I just wanted something that really leaned into what the game was about. I don't really care about combat. Probably care more about sneaky speech type of shit, or like special magic or something. Magic Clan inspect more than a speech. That's probably what I was gonna do. Yeah, I've heard there's a lot of combat at the end that fucked with shit. In some sewer or something. It's like great. So you recommend a little bit of combat? Or is that just the experience? You just suck it up and the sewer was fine? I don't know then. Like I said, you hear little things like don't open the coffin. People always talk about that kind of shit. But it's probably just, you know, you just make a save and do goofy shit like that. Oh, yeah, I'm not worried about getting lost. Probably done way worse. Even if I did get lost, I'd probably have the patience for it. I have heard the forced combat though complaint, which is why I ask. I mean, I guess if you were doing Nosferatu, the forced combat wouldn't be a problem. But I imagine if you do Nosferatu, the whole game is just sneaking and killing people. I'll put a few points into some kind of combat. I don't know how much, but... Don't know when I'll be doing that. I have until the second game comes out, and that's if I even fucking play the second game. But I've been wanting to play Vampire the Masquerade for a while anyways. So. It worked out. Anybody in here played Frostpunk? I've watched a bit. Seems pretty good. It also seems like a very not chill game, probably. Which is fine. I don't know if I got the wrong read on it. Yeah, I want to be doing more strategy in RTS. Because I want to do Against the Storm pretty bad. That seems pretty cool. Kind of like a semi-roguelike kind of macro RTS game. But I've been meaning to do... for fuck's sakes. The float, dude. I've been meaning to do... some RTS classics for a while. I still need to do StarCraft 1 and Warcraft 3. We'll see. A lot of stuff to do. I didn't have to play this one as early as I did. It's not leaving Game Pass for a while, but I was kind of in the mood and it's not too long. I think shit like Chicory I'll probably do a little sooner. And I suppose since Microsoft owns EA, stuff like Command & Conquer Remastered probably won't be leaving Game Pass, so... the eternal delay on Pentiment CNC and all that kind of shit. Does Microsoft own the Age of Empires people too? All those remasters are on Game Pass. Constantly restart, right. Well, there's like slow turn-based strategy, but RTS is, you know,
I run the calculator.
a little bit more hardcore.
No tough.
There's a reason RTS probably died out. It's a pretty high stress, pretty high skill kind of genre. And then you could split into the more like big brain strategy shit, like 4X or something, or you could go play like MOBAs if you just want the hero control type of shit. I mean, I hope people keep making more. I hope like that new one, was it Stormgate or something, does well, but I'm not too surprised. It just died out for a bit. Oh yeah, Frostpunk's where you could just lose the whole thing. It just depends on the length. I don't mind restarting that entire playthrough. It just, you know, the game has to be really cool and preferably not like 40 fucking hours a run. I got other shit to play. So. RTS might be one of the least played things on the stream, but it's not because of lack of interest. There's just not many. And there's certainly not many new ones, and definitely none that end up on like, you know, GameFly. I'm not playing an RTS on fucking controller. Unless it's made for it specifically. Yeah, you get like pseudo RTS, like Pokemon. Or not Pokemon, Pikmin or something. Well, I like XCOM, so. And I like the higher stress XCOM too, with the turn time limits on missions. You had to play more ballsy. It wasn't chill, but it was fun.
Just hang in there, Sid. I'm doing everything I can.
Yeah, I don't play many RTS on stream, just availability of them and lack of like new ones. Then it's not as easy to go play an old one because it's all PC, so you have to work a little harder to get those working. StarCraft Remastered will be fine, but Warcraft 3 is going to be a bitch because Reforged fucks with a lot of the balancing, and I don't think you could play any version other than Reforged, so I'm going to have to like find an old version or some shit. It's just like a nightmare. Thanks, Blizzard. Fucking idiots. Yeah, 4K would be cool to get into, but I haven't even gotten into like Civ. I've done Total War and shit. It's like I'm interested in maybe doing like Total Warhammer or some stuff as well, but I will do a 4K game at some, or 4X game at some point, but I don't know what. Could do Europa, but we'll see. Pathfinding is a bitch, man. Cause you're going like around this like winding like circular planet, but you need to be like in a certain spot to get there. But then they also like, so it's hard to like tell the path to get to something because a lot of the time it's just like rails that spawn and shoot you like 20 miles away. If you miss that, or if you're not like, or it's like a really linear path, So it's like if you miss like the branch or the path, it's kind of hard to like reason out where it's gonna be sometimes. That makes sense. Like here, it's like, okay, it's right above me. You would assume there's some way to get up there. Like there's a rail, right? I see a rail. It looks like it's connected to this. You assume we go over here and that's it. But because of like the fucking like windy, wacky gravity nature of it, like, I think this is it. Jesus, this is way farther than I thought. There's some side shit. It's one of those, like, I don't think this game is like a... Like, there's not enough skill expression to really enjoy, like, a more windy, kind of, like, get lost in it, try to find hidden secrets type of thing. It's not like a lot of... You're not finding secrets, but you're also not really enjoying the sandbox nature while you're finding secrets. It's just, like, which left, right fork, or which little needle in the haystack that I missed. Like, it's not hard to find this stuff. You're just lost just long enough where it kind of fucks with the flow state. And it's not like it's the crispiest of platforming in the first place, so it's like any kind of, I feel like, pace breakers is kind of eh. Like, I don't hate it or anything, it's just... I mean, Pseudo Regalia is a good example. That game has no map and way harder to find everything in secrets, and it ends up being one of its major problems by the end of it, but it's so fun just to play, and so smooth, and there's such a high skill level, and the environments tend to be pretty take it however you want, very skill expression heavy, that like, you don't mind being lost as much. This has very little to really get lost in. There's just like a few moments here and there, but I find them way more annoying because there's not much else going on.
Oh boy.
I mean, on one hand, I respect that it isn't just like some journey like this kind of auto platformer or something. I mean, not that I have a problem with Journey, I like that one pretty well, but you know, there's a lot of games that'll be very unambitious and try to just pretty much forego gameplay, which can work with the right game, but yeah, it's cool though. They're going for kind of an artsy thing, but still more focused on gameplay. But I don't know. It's like doesn't quite work out. Oh, maybe I'm just, hence the pretentious rambling. The title. Maybe I am just rambling, but yeah, like Mario Galaxy, everything's very clearly. I mean, that's one of the problems I have with Mario Galaxy too. Is it's actually like far too linear. I find other Mario, 3D Mario is a bit more fun. I think Mario Galaxy is great. I think it's amazing, but like, it's one of the reasons I don't like ever really feel like replaying Mario Galaxy as much, because there's not really many ways to take it other than just the path they want. There's not like a lot of room for skill expression. I think that's a game where the path they force you to go down is actually really fun, so I don't have a huge problem with it. But I think that's kind of where the other ones edge it out for me. Like Mario's like, Galaxy's very linear, very on rails. This feels like it's like neither, like it's not completely on rails, but for the most part it is.
Why would you want to see?
But when it's not on rails, you're not really like free flowing, finding cool paths through shit. You're just kind of like finding the right linear path to run down. I don't know, if that makes sense. Great, we have to bring some goofy shit here. One day you'll get into them, yeah. Like I said, I want to hit up some classics before anything, but Jesus, dude. 4X is pretty niche though. I would almost say that RTS is less niche in the grand scheme of things. This was just for side shit. Awesome. Side stuff I don't need. That's another thing about the health that's a little odd. You just respawn at a checkpoint 2 feet away anyway, so it's kind of like... Who cares, right? And since the only rewards for like exploring, unless you get like entire suits, is like more materials for more health, and health's kind of pointless. Maybe it saves you like a little bit of time. It's just like whatever. It's kind of goofy even picking these up because these only drop you one. Like I said, I don't think you could even... The entire game probably. Jesus, dude. Like no idea where we're going, but it's still pretty tight. But yeah, it's like why pick, like you'll never even get an entire health upgrade by picking up all the red blobs on the ground. They're worth so little and you need so many. You only really get money for grabbing the these guys like stay dead. Jesus, dude. Why did I even start this mess? It looks the same, dude. It's like, yeah, it's cool just picking up stuff. Like, you know, it's fun picking up coins in Mario, right? I mean, it's kind of a similar thing. Like, you don't really need them, but it's nice to actually have them have a bit more value. Well, I've cleaned out a lot of shit, man. It's good, not a big deal, but just kind of like a one of the few things you interact with in this game in terms of just like optional pickups, kind of like poorly reinforced because you just don't really need the health or anything. That's such a micro amount, it just doesn't make much difference anyways. There it is. Said, I feel like they're focused more on camera angles sometimes than like the feel of some of this. What? You can't grab onto that goop, but you can grab onto the rest of the goop? Thanks. Awesome. Why even have them connected? That serves no functional purpose. That was the visuals. Oh my fucking god, this fucking enemy, dude. It's so fucking obnoxious, man. But you don't have time to kill him, so you just have to like go over there and kill him. For his own sake, I guess. It's just fucking annoying, man. It's like not fun to like play around with. Yeah, like this is gonna really work out on my time, dude. Almost. At least he's gone. Just restart that. I find the combat in this game to be kind of just more... It's like, I mean, the combat's more supposed to be like you're supposed to kill shit as you're running by, which I think is cool. But I really like there's so few enemies that most of them are just more of just a annoyance than they are fun to fight. I guess I just don't feel very strongly about them regardless. What the fuck am I supposed to... Like, you can't grab onto most of that, and you don't have time to even, like, find out what you can grab onto. But I don't want to just jump off, because there's... I mean, I'd imagine I need to stay up there. Maybe you're just supposed to jump down? Look at that. Not very interesting. Well, you're supposed to jump through, but also end up right on that area. How was I supposed to know? I need that kind of jump. You don't, so you just gotta do it again. I'm all for retrying a sequence that's hard and like fun. Retrying shit because like an easy set of platforming, this is kind of trial and error, it's just more boring. Things like one jump, I'm not redoing like a hard, really cool, fun execution section. It's just like trying to read what the fuck's even happening sometimes. Dude, I don't want to... So I'm trying to like jump, but like you attach yourself to every piece of goop you like look at. So if you happen to just kind of lip the goo, she'll just like attach herself to it. So you're like trying to avoid this goo with the skatey fucking motions. You want to keep skating because I mean... I need to be quick to make that momentum. It's just kind of more annoying. I don't know, maybe I'm bitching too much about it, but I'm just like, not really like a fun section. You don't really want to have to retry it a bunch. See how this dude is.
It's just you and me now. Come and get me.
Okay. Keep thinking it's like Laura Bailey. You tell me, game. How am I getting to him? Is he just coming my way?
That thing won't let up.
Maybe it won't let up. He hasn't done a fucking thing yet. Maybe he'll just let himself be hit like the rest of them. Also, I don't really get the time slip mechanic. I think it's kind of shit. So like, all it is the ability to sometimes be able to extend your grapple by pressing B. Why not just have the grapple do that by default? And why not show an indicator of like, if my time slip's even gonna work? It has a cooldown. Like, I'll press it, and then it just like won't be far enough or won't work. I mean, that happens more than it doesn't. It's like, what just some fucking information, man. Because it's not like with all the crazy camera angles and shit, I'm gonna ever get like a true feel for it. It's always feels kind of like junk. It's weird to have like a toggle just to like make one ability slightly better. I like auto used it there too. It's not like junk, it's just kind of like, why even bother? Jesus, I thought I hit it, but I said so many colors and crazy camera angles. It's hard to kind of be precise sometimes. It doesn't help that the points you're trying to hit are like transparent. Slightly. You have to really make sure you're paying attention. Oh, great. I slipped. I like how that one spawns in pretty much like right when you went past it. Let me spawn those in a little quicker. I'm probably just being hard on the game, but a lot of it just kind of questionable. What's up, Cora? Oh, the time slip didn't work. So mean to kids. Hurting the game's feelings. Oh, that's like talking about him. Gotta go watch my Prince of Persia one. Wasn't mean at all. I mean, I had a few small things, but... Spamming X, dude. I guess there is like a cooldown after the third one. This controller needs a charge, but I don't think that is the problem. Like, some of the platforming on these guys is cool. Like, it can feel good when you actually get it right. But a lot of the times it's like, not always because of your skill you're gonna fuck it up, but because you don't know what's coming, because it's not super readable. Or the dude will twist a little bit, or the camera's kind of more focused on the cinematic angles than it is really being easy to read. I mean, It's always going to be harder to jump when the camera's at like a Dutch angle, zoomed out like 50 extra, you know, feet or something. It might be fine still, but you're getting a lot. You're increasing like the difficulty by like fucking with like camera angles, which I find not as interesting as like actually just having hard platforming. What can you do on something like this, right? That's why I say when they really get it right, it's cool. Like, this has been fun. I mean, this has a lot of, like, auto parts, but... You can kind of tell what you need to do, where you need to go, and you just have to execute. This, though? Like, this is literally what I'm talking for Dutch angle. I didn't boost hard enough. I thought I was gonna be like almost done. If you're not boosting, you just can't make some of these jumps. It's like Dutch angle zoomed out. I don't know if you can use the word Dutch angle when for games. And Dutch angle is like a camera angle that's like tilted. Like, yeah, it looks fancy, and I get that the thing's twisting, but it's like kind of a bitch. I always feel like a pretentious fuck for using like movie terminology for game stuff, but I mean games still have cutscenes and cinematography and stuff like movies. So. Might as well use a term that's already there. She's like super zoomed out. Like, I'd say these bosses are more fun than any of the other platforming, but they just still have that same problem. Oh god, we gotta hear these two bitch at each other.
The last of the remnants are gone. It won't be long now.
I don't know what's keeping you here, but nothing you say or do will stop me from activating the Starseed.
You speak with such passion, but the fire in your eyes does not belong to you. You belong to it. All those remnants you killed. Did you ever wonder where they came from? Did they seem familiar?
No, they're abominations. They had to die so my world could survive. It was the only way.
Your grief has made you blind. I am asking you to let go.
What are they, her friends she came here with?
I can't do that.
It's really hard to get behind her plight. Like, the idea of wanting to, like, save people you care about, sure, right? You can empathize, but... Like, I just don't think they sell you on the scale and, like, this character. Or, like, any hard decisions he has to make. It's usually, it feels like a lot of, like, tropey, like... kind of, what is the word I'm thinking of? Is platitudes the word? Overused kind of lines.
And around we go. Spiraling.
Trying to sound kind of artsy. And just kind of eye rolling. It's one of those goofy things.
Sid.
Like, she just kind of bitches like a normal person, but then she also tries to talk in riddles so that they can save a twist for later. And you're just like, why wouldn't she just say what she wants to say at that point? It's not like she's a sphinx or some shit, right? She's just some person who bitches like normal. Then she just decides to be vague as well at the same time. It's just kind of like, like that's what I mean. Is it kind of feels like some hand of the author shit, like these kind of like nonsensical, inconsistent characterization or something. Like she's very blunt, like normal person about being a bitch, but then she like randomly also wants to be a riddle person, and it feels more like it's just in service of like saving up some twist. You are actually going to cause the problems you didn't want to, that you're trying to save the world from.
Critical
Or something.
systems offline.
No! This is my fault.
Critical systems offline.
Collapsing the Ultra Void is no longer an option. And I won't shut down the Starseed. Not when we're this close. But a chance to start over. To erase all of this suffering. I'd give anything for that.
Critical systems offline. Terminal calculation loop. Please try again later.
Sid.
Critical system.
No!
Critical system. Critical systems offline.
I have to say
Terminal
something
calculation
here.
loop. Please try again later.
Better get moving. Sid.
Critical systems offline.
No!
I think there's supposed to be multiple endings. I don't know what the deal is with them.
Terminal calculation loop. Please try again later.
Abort calculations!
Super user commands can only be run from the central starseed conduit. Critical system.
I don't care. I don't know if you make like a choice.
Critical systems offline. Terminal calculation loop. Please try again later.
Abort calculation.
Aborting. Ray, the stars.
Sid, you're back online.
Why, yes, it appears we are.
I don't have time to explain, but
Ray, our readings indicate.
I know, Sid. And I know the dangers.
Very well, Ray. Strange. It appears a Void Runner.
There has to be another way.
There is a failsafe at the summit of the starseed, which allows for manual override.
Sid. Thank you.
We must fight every circuit in our logic core to say engaging starseed maintenance rail.
The point of no return. How sad.
Is there something we can do to help? Finished. How can we help you?
See you, Sid.
Well, you're not gonna have full life, but oh well. I'm sure 4 out of 5 is plenty. This whole time my camera's been like, let me fuck. I don't know if I need to shorten that by like a pixel or not. Every time I lock it to the bottom left, it's got a pixel off, so that's probably like 1 pixel too wide. Or too tall. Empty space. Maybe the other ending is to not do this? I don't know. But I'm not too best in the story. So unless there's like a lot of gameplay behind
No!
a different ending, I'm not too worried about it.
This can't be.
You see it now. don't you? You finally see the truth.
Truth is what I make it. I can bring them all back.
Jesus, these
You
lines.
sound like me. You always do at the end.
Can I just not? Okay.
Do not draw this out. Show some mercy.
I didn't want to hurt you.
If that's true, you would destroy the Starseed.
Can I just do that? That's clearly what we should do.
But you won't. You are incapable of change.
Do I have to like get all the side stuff or something? Or is this game about like loops or some shit? Let's see, man. I mean, I'm down to it. Well, I'm not gonna do side shit. The Solar Ash endings finish off a brilliant game with a very strong narrative. Apparently there's just another button you press. Is it just gonna pop up or something?
Enough. Don't you get it? We were too late. We've always been too late.
You knew?
Our planet was already lost. But I couldn't face the truth.
Who are you?
I'm a relic of the past. And you're the
These
part of me
lines, dude.
that won't let me forget. Forever repeating our mistakes.
Jesus.
We are two halves, split by the starseed. Eternally tessellating.
There's something about the dialogue, dude, where it's trying like way too
That
hard.
means
The starseed doesn't reverse
And it
time.
does not own it.
It just repeats it. Over and over. How we've never had a choice. The
I can't accept that. I'll start over. There has to be another way.
There's only one choice left to make. Accept the truth. Destroy the
Like the
starseed.
concept could be cool.
Let me go.
Like a really surreal, like sci-fi thing about someone trying to use some kind of crazy alien artifact to save their homeworld, but they're stuck in like a loop or some shit. Like, but it just doesn't. It just doesn't, man. Does not work out. Okay, this is where you choose. I thought it'd be like a find all the side stuff. I thought there was. We were already fucked it, I guess.
Why this time? It's For once, I can't see past this moment.
I see it now. There's no saving them. All I did was prolong their suffering. I'm
I'm also kind of not into the VA. It's not like bad VA, but there's something just cheesy about it. I don't know.
Pain is gone. I feel like I can breathe again.
Like it's kind of overly dramatic. That's my thing. It's like it just doesn't like own it. To me, I don't know. There's something about when games are like dripping with like drama and like these like heightened performances and stuff, but then the meat just doesn't add up. It like emphasizes the problems for me. I'm even more turned off. Some people really like the story. That might just be me.
It's...
Like I'm an outlier, maybe.
Oh, we knew we would let... Something is different.
Sid? You see me?
We are remembering everything.
I missed you.
Even still, you are not...
Ray, It's not over.
You better go see for yourself.
She broke the cycle, but she still became a monster. Just like every time before.
She ended the starseed cycle, so you might have the chance to end another. She's still part of you, isn't she?
I spent lifetimes watching her become a twisted and cruel monster. Clutching at her version of the truth.
So like, why couldn't she just say
But she does now.
what was happening?
Doesn't matter anymore.
What was stopping her from
I
just
have to
telling
end
her?
this.
Does she need to be destroyed? Perhaps there's another way.
Nothing, probably. It's probably
Wait.
literally nothing.
Look at her.
Except just to
What
save
do
it
you
for the
see?
twist.
She's angrier at herself than anything else. Her hate.
Her hate, her
sorrow,
sorrow.
her- My guilt. I see myself. We're the same, but
You were too.
I don't have a choice. I need to put her out of her misery.
Why put someone out of their misery when you can pull them out?
Okay, well, how would you like to do that? Nobody can say what they mean. Everybody has to be very mysterious. Artsy. So much for that health, man. I don't have a health bar right now, I don't think. Which is funny. It's fine, but I think it's funny how it's like even less useful. The final fight, you don't even like need it. Maybe there's like a different version. Jesus, dude, you gotta be boosting non-stop, man. Problem is, if I boost on those small platforms, I could go flying off. So I need to do like a simultaneous little boost. And you're jumping blind because the camera's like constantly scrolling. You just have to hope. You just have to prioritize boost and hope that the jump part's not going to be a problem. I barely even see what's happening, my dudes. This entire screen is blocked. Jesus, man. Oh, I just kind of get tired of dying because I can't tell what the fuck's going on. Yeah, it's just like... I mean, trying to read stuff and using visuals to like mess with players' information, I feel like it's not a huge deal. I think that's fine in a game. But in like a platformer and like so frequently, it's just like, alright, dude.
You better be right about this, Sid.
What if she's not? Then you just kill her anyways, dude. I hate you. If the melee range was any shorter, it'd be a fucking nightmare, dude. Apparently I fucked up. I can barely even tell. Oh, banked a little too hard there.
Why, but you helped me. I know you're still in there.
Jesus, dude. Dutch angle from fucking hell, man.
We're still here, and we're not alone. Go back and change the past. We have to pick up the pieces and fix what's left. The truth is a heavy burden, but we can carry it together.
Ray? 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 You've managed to end the cycle. Time moves on. The Ultra Void is stable now.
But there's so much work to be done. So much to rebuild.
Our heart aches for the loss of those we all cared for. And the home none of us can return to. But what's left here is
Massive platforms and
potential.
death that only certain people can platform around on.
This could be a place to start something new.
Who are these people? I didn't do almost anything with them, dude.
Are you alright, Ray?
Ooh.
I think I will be.
He's over the genocide of her people. Cool. Cosimo Galuzzi. I mean, it's still pretty short. It's like 5 hours. I mean, maybe, yeah, maybe even shorter than this. Well, I didn't hate it or anything, but I can't say I was a huge fan. I mean, there's some cool stuff going on here. You know, I like. Let me lower some of this audio. Oh yeah. Didn't like hate it. I think I liked some ideas going on here. Obviously the Shadow of the Colossus, big scale set pieces, that kind of stuff is cool. Focusing more on a flow state, kind of like smooth movement kind of thing.
Darb? Is that you?
The heckin' Pupperino, dude. Please clap. I liked the kind of gravity kind of defined stuff going on. You know, where Hyperlight Drifter's better, and that game has its own problems. Yeah. We'll see about Hyperlight, the roguelike, or with Breaker coming out this year. So like I like the idea of the kind of gravity defying kind of planetoid sort of things, like your Mario Galaxy-esque stuff. You know, not the most fresh idea obviously anymore, but there's nothing wrong with that if it can execute well. I don't think they utilize that in a very interesting way. You are going around planets and stuff, but for the most part, that kind of gravity, that kind of I don't know, that gimmick doesn't really amount to much. All it is more for visuals, which I think art-wise, it's definitely got a very distinct look and very colorful look. But really, a lot of the areas kind of run together. If you put them next to each other, they'd all look different, but I think you look back on this game probably a few hours later and you probably wouldn't really remember the difference between most of them. A lot of the goo, a lot of like really strong oranges and purples and all that kind of stuff, and pinks and shit. But there's not really much, I feel like, in the way of like landmarks that really stand out, or kinds of platforming and level design that really feels that different between any of them. That you played with those two people that jutted around, clean up the planet. Oh, what game? Can you give me a little more on that? I'm trying to. Two people that jutted around and cleaned up the planet. Fuck. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the one by the Fury devs. The turn-based combat. Yeah, it's got that kind of like movement focus where there's not actually that much platforming smoothness at all, but it looks like there would be. You're talking about... Yeah, that was like a romance. Fuck, what's the name of it? I could just look up the Fury devs games. Game Baker, excuse me. What else did they make here? This was their website, but Guess they've not updated it ever. Haven. Yeah, Haven. There you go. That's the one you're thinking of? Yeah. That one had its problems too, but yeah, I'd probably say I like that better as well. But very different game in a way. This is more, I'd say the closest thing to this is kind of like the Pathless, which has the same problems as this. I think the Pathless is just even more bloated. But a lot of times it knew when to not talk. It just didn't have much to say or show anyway. So yeah, I like the idea of like, you know, kind of doing that Mario Galaxy kind of planetoid thing. I don't think there's not much gravity play. There's not any like cool jumping between places. It's just rails, right? It's more like a Sonic Adventure kind of rail grind, or like Jet Set kind of rail grind thing. So it's more of a visual thing. And like I said, the visuals are fine, but there's not enough, like, there's nothing really like evocative. Like, I'm not, like, yes, there's ruins and there's people, but I'm not like wondering what's going on. It's not making me have any questions. It's not just wowing me, you know, like, it's just like such a crazy art show. It's fine, it's good enough, but I don't think it like carries it. So then you look to the gameplay, you look to the story. I find the story very wanting. It is dangerously cheesy, overly dramatic, but can't own that. Because I feel like it just doesn't have tight enough characters and a fleshed out enough, like, kind of immersive concept. Like, the idea of somebody who's in a time loop and doesn't know it, trying to save their planet, and all that could be a really cool, surreal story that's a little bit more show don't tell with more hints as to what's going on. Maybe focus a little harder on her memories in her life and like her personal motivations. They tell you, they're very upfront about telling you what she feels like. She's got her quips, which don't fit. She's very aggressive about wanting to do it, but I just don't resonate. She doesn't come across as like like a person half the time. I feel like it's just because it's a little too overkill. And not overkill in like a stylish way. This isn't like some chuny, like, you know, you just have fun watching larger than life characters go crazy. This is supposed to be something you can connect with a bit. And I find I just am not connected with what's going on, but then it tries to do this kind of like artsy, super, you know, every word is like a poem. It's all deep, and that's fine. I that can be really cool, you know, the symbolism and like really digging into stuff. But when like you have a character that's just like bitching at your character like a normal person, and then 2 seconds later they're speaking in like riddles, it's just there's this kind of tonal whiplash and like odd characterization where it just feels like they're kind of just, I don't know. You can see like the hand of the author kind of. It doesn't feel like very tight and cohesive. It's kind of goofy shit like that. Not like there's a whole lot of characters, anyways. There's a lot of lore, but I need to be interested in a world to want to like super dig into the lore. I read a lot of it for a while, and then I just kind of lost interest in it. It was either had some tonal whiplash, which I mean, it can have multiple tones. You can balance multiple tones, right? Stuff like Disco Elysium, or you know, that balances tones, right? But like, I just don't think this had that, especially for the length of the game. The point is the story. You know, cool stuff could be happening there, but I found like the overly dramatic writing with really very little base to get me into, to not be that thing I'm grabbing onto. So it's like, okay, well, what's left then? The gameplay, maybe the music. The Disaster Piece music was cool. It had some atmosphere. I don't think I walked away feeling really strong about it. Some of it was either really quiet, super undermixed like a fucking AAA game, or very loud in boss fights, which is where it stood out more, but those are few and far between. So it gave an atmosphere, but it didn't like blow me away. But the gameplay is probably the big one. Game element like puzzles. I think that's a good point. It didn't have to be puzzles, but I think the gameplay could have evolved a little bit. I mean, what you play in the first minute is how the rest of the game plays. They'll throw in a couple like needle in a haystack kind of platforming challenges where you have to like go find, you know, the 3 switches to turn on the thing, or you have to go find a, you know, a light ball and carry the light that, you know, on a timer to a door. And like, that's about it. Those are the mix-ups other than the bosses. Otherwise, the jumping and the movement and the climbing and the action is exactly the same the whole way through. And that wouldn't be a huge deal if that felt super tight. It's floaty. I mean, it is trying to be like ice skatey and stuff. But there's like just a lack of precision and depth to the movement that I don't think it can carry the whole game the whole time. And then you couple in your fucking Sands of Time camera angle bullshit where it's like way more focused on the cinematic look of it, or I just can't figure out how to get the camera just right on these big creatures. The super zoom, clashing colors, and transparent like objectives and stuff. And it kind of turns from having cool platforming challenges to just kind of having like it's a very easy game, but like having just enough friction caused by stuff that isn't the game mechanics that it's just kind of annoying. Like, I don't want to have to grapple with like Dutch angles and like 200 million% zoom. That can be cool as a gimmick in some games, right? Like if reverse the camera or something, but like as like a common thing, like if the platforming's not going to be super duper crispy and have a lot of depth, I'd at least like to be able to accurately use what is there. But it just doesn't quite work out. I don't think it's like fucked. It's still fun to kind of get momentum with the boost sometimes, and you know, when they line up the objectives perfectly on these bosses and you're just kind of flowing between them and reacting, I mean, it's tight enough. It can feel good, but the problem is it doesn't often enough. And a lot of the time it's very linear, kind of on rail experience when it does. Okay, so that's another problem. This game is $40. Obviously, I want the devs to succeed and keep making more stuff, because why not? And I tend to kind of talk about games based more on the time. Like, was it worth, you know, just playing kind of value? Because I tend to rent and have Game Pass and stuff for games. But I think this one is worth talking about. $40, and after about 4 years still. 3 years. I think it's been 3 years. Still $40. It might have been more, or at least I'm not quite sure. Maybe a little much. I imagine this took a long time to make, is probably part of that. But a little rich, I think, for a game that's about 5 hours long. I think the experience matters more, but I don't think the experience you're getting here is like so grand and so amazing that $40 is kind of way worth it. I mean, yes, I didn't go find all the side stuff. You could probably squeeze another 2 hours out. But I'm one to usually get all the side stuff in a platformer. I just found very little interest in the world to do it, and very little gameplay incentive to do it, because the challenges weren't fun enough. Finding secrets in this was more of a pain because of the nature of like the world wrapping and shit. So, I mean, I got a fair few. I think I got like half of them or something, maybe a third, because of the side quest ones I didn't do. Apparently, some of those costumes actually changed the gameplay slightly. I think that's a mistake. Well, I think that's fine, actually, but I wish there was also gameplay changes as you went. That's kind of what I'm getting at, is every new area or every 2 areas would be cool if there's like a new ability. Just a little something, you know, some kind of different tech, or incorporate, I don't know, like another jump, or like some kind of like speed dash in the air. Just something basic even, or just something actually cool, right, you know? Like maybe there's like a hold the button for like a super leap kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just throwing random shit out. Those might not be good ideas, but just something. It's like I said, it's always the same. And then on top of that, the structure of the game is very formulaic as well, right? So you go find the 5 different bosses. You go beat up 3 to 5 doohickeys, which might require other doohickeys to get to spawn the boss. And you rinse, repeat. And like, there's obviously games like Shadow of the Colossus, like you just go to the next boss, you just travel and go to the next boss, right? You could say that's formulaic, or like Mario, it's always 7 stars in every level or something, right? But like, I think when you've already got pretty basic gameplay and not much to hold on to with the world, and each level feels kind of samey, and the set pieces, while neat, aren't really that distinct, that repetition, that formula really starts to fucking... It doesn't wear on me like it does in some other games, but like it's noticeable. So that doesn't help. I don't know. I probably like this better than like the Pathless. The Pathless is very similar, where it's kind of like movement, and it's go find the 5 things to spawn the boss, and then go to the next area and do it again and do it again. That one's a little longer. What's those? Well, I don't know. Do I like the Pathless one? They're pretty similar in a way. This has a bit more complicated platforming and stuff, which I respect. Pathless didn't have much going on, but very, very similar problems. This game has got a lot more to say story-wise, which I find to be worse. I don't know why I'm comparing these two. Pathless is also overpriced. It's like, isn't Pathless like $50? I don't know if it still is, but bizarrely similar. I wouldn't call this like a journey. Like, you're not, in those kinds of games, you're like trying to get to like this central area, and it's, very hands off on the story and all artsy and stuff. I mean, this does revolve around a central area, but if you're into like those kinds of journey, like there's like they're a dime a dozen, right? This is not quite that. I respect that it's going for maybe a little more gameplay. I don't think it has to. I mean, if it was just a really awesome light show and really clean pacing, I'm fine with like less, but I don't know. I don't think any particular thing hits really hard in this. No, I'm actually going to jump off. I'm doing a few things off stream, but I might in early morning, maybe we'll start something up. I want to install my new SSD before I start installing more shit, but Dragon's Dogma is like 2 gigs. I might just use my current SSD and plug in the other SSD for Helldivers. I could probably use my hard drive for Dragon's Dogma. It's old enough. I doubt the loading times are going to be that crazy. So. I'll get it installed and ready, but might do Dragon's Dogma. I could do Chicory or something. But yeah, so I don't know. Overall, I'd say it was okay. There's some cool moments, but yeah, it's more about wear and tear. I just don't want to put anything on my OS, my SSD's OS, because I'd rather make sure that's good forever. Maybe it doesn't matter, but that's why I bought a 2 terabyte SSD. I just need to put it in my computer. I haven't unplugged my computer in so long, and all the crashes I had in the past, I'm just like afraid to touch that fucking thing. I need to go put it on the counter and plug in. It should just be plug and play, but we'll see. Yeah, I bought one special for it. It was on sale during the holidays. So yeah, this is on Game Pass. It was Epic exclusive for a while, but so if you do want to play it, it's a good Game Pass one. I think $40 is a bit steep, especially after so many years, but some people might be totally worth it. That's kind of the money thing's in the eye of the beholder. I think relative to other games, it's probably a big ask, but the time investment on it's not too long, but I just don't think, I don't know, like it's not the best platformer. It tells a pretty weak story. I don't think what it's doing that's unique here is like so strong that it's almost worth it on that front. Like, if you haven't played like a Galaxy or Shadow of the Colossus, or you haven't played like a stronger 3D platformer, or just one with like movement like Pseudo Regalia or something, or like maybe there's some stuff here, but I think there's a lot of other stuff to jump into first. It's not fucked. I don't think it's a bad game, but I just gotta I had more negative to say than positive. Definitely done with it. So anyways, I guess that's it. I definitely found the story to be the worst part, though. I can get over the simple gameplay, but I find myself rolling my eyes at the story a lot of the time. I don't know. That's a personal one. There's something about that mix of like overly dramatic writing that feigns like this artsiness, but never really gets me like empathizing with the characters or what's going on. I find fucking annoying. Like, call me an asshole, I guess, but. And I'm not one to talk about being brief about how wordy I am, but that was another thing. It's like, it's got a lot to say, but not really. A lot of it I feel like was super effective. I've played worse on that front. I've played some games that just never stop talking and have so little to say. So even on that front, it could be worse, but I kind of dislike that. So, anyways, we will do something later. I could play fucking Power World. I could install Power World. I'd really have to put my SSD and then play it while taught. I'd be on the Game Pass version, so wouldn't be able to do multiplayer really. Like, I'm curious about it. There's a lot to talk about there. And always discussing the true merits of like survival crafting and the fad versus like quality nature of it. And obviously the actual Pokemon formula and stuff like that. I think there's a lot to talk about there. There's so many fucking shitty ass survival crafting games. I don't think people quite understand how many of these come out every day. So it'd be interesting to see like a stronger take on it. There's some really good ones like Subnautica and stuff that have a clean balance between adventure and automation and stuff, but I don't know. I'm also really not into playing early access games. I have a lot of prep games to play. But the thing is, it's probably would be the best time to play Palworld if I ever was going to. And people are going to talk about this game for years, so. Yeah, I want to play Helldivers for sure. That shitty anti-cheat's kind of bothering me, but I really wish that Yakuza was in the mail, but they didn't send it to me. And while my February's opening up a bit, especially if I ditch Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, because they delayed Talos Principle and I might skip Skull and Bones, I still would like to kind of get that going. So, we'll see. Well, yeah. There's like any game, it's gonna be forgotten to a certain extent. There's definitely some flavor of them. But I think it's an interesting kind of like case still. Case. Like it's a law thing. That something can just blow up like that so large, regardless of the quality. It might be good, but I don't think it's supposed to be crazy good. But like, compared to the sales, right? You'd think it's the best game ever. So it's interesting. You kind of just want to find out on that front. And I think there's something cool to talk about there, kind of explore, like why did it blow up so much? Obviously the survival crafting with Pokemon with kind of a dark humor gimmick is probably enough for most people, and that it's affordable. After that, it's just hype. But I think it'd be cool. I also though I don't like playing early access. Can you even like finish this game right now? I don't know how does it like take like weeks to finish too. Like I don't want to play like Ark where I just wait for things the whole time. I imagine it's better than most on that. Finishing would be catching all of them. Oh yeah. Don't know how much of a bitch that is. So it's like I'm kind of interested. I kind of have time, but I kind of need to do prep games. Undernauts? Yeah, I'd have to rent Undernauts. I'm playing one of their games soon, Bruce. Spirit Hunter Deathmark 2 is coming out. So I might play that first. Yeah, I definitely want to do Undernauts, but I have a lot of fucking first-person dungeon crawlers to play. Oh, did you? I don't think so. No, I don't have it on Steam. I mean, it's all good. You don't need to. I was like, surely I didn't forget that. No, I don't have it on here. No. Damn, this game's $60 still. You gifted me Corpse Factory not that long ago on Switch. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. This game is out. It's been out for years. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. I appreciate it either way, but I mean, yeah, dude, that's expensive. You don't need to do that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me check my Switch. I don't think so, man. I'd feel horrible if I forgot. I mean, there's so many games. I guess it's bound to happen. This is like one of the first times I've pulled this thing out. No, I just finished it. We're just talking. I guess I could put on music or something if it. You guys are exploding. We're just kind of talking about stuff coming up. I'm stopping for the night till the morning probably. Beanie time. Here's some hot music. Yeah, thank you guys for gifts and stuff though. I really appreciate it. No, I don't think so. Just it's Corpse Party. Or not Corpse Party, Corpse Factory. Yeah, there is a Corpse Party too. And I appreciate that. I plan on doing that as well. Yeah, we'll try to do Undernauts at some point for sure. Just another long RPG, but it'll be cool to do. But they have a new game coming out, Deathmark 2, that I'll probably play. Some kind of gameplay. I could probably gameplay Undernauts. We'll try to get that in. It's here for sure. Put this back. Whew. You gifted me Batman, the Telltale Batmans, Bruce. I don't think you'd mix those up though. Yeah, I need to get through more gifted stuff. Grim Rock and Jagged Alliance and all that. Dude, the Sonic Adventure pinball game. That's where I first heard this song. I was like, damn, this is a jam, dude. It's Sonic Adventure 1 pinball game. Unless it's in the second. There's a pinball in the second game? I don't know. The Casinopolis one or whatever in the first game. Where I think of it. But, that's comfy song. But yeah, so I'll probably stop for now. Thank you guys very much for watching, for hanging. Might start Dragon's Dogma later this morning or something, I don't know. Since we got a little bit of time, could do Power World. I don't know. I'm kind of like doing, but I kind of don't want to. Might not. But I got a lot of other stuff as well, so. Could do New Super Lucky's Tale, man. I don't know when that's leaving Game Pass. Someday. It's been in there for years. Yeah, thank you guys very much. I'll catch you later, right? We'll see about this dev's next game. They got the Hyper Light Breaker this year. A roguelike.